Hello friends, and whoever might also stumble upon these videos. So I've been talking about these DGB triads, right? And I've been doing it all on the acoustic guitar because that's kind of like primarily what I'm trying to get out there. But I did mention that that little structure of the DGB triad with the bass line actually does sound pretty full with an acoustic or with an electric guitar. So here I have an electric guitar. As you can tell, it's got the humbuckers, a basic electromatic Gretsch, which for the money, I love these. Got this a long time ago, still love it. I've got the bridge pickup on. A little duller sound than this guy here. So anyways, but I'm just gonna kind of demonstrate that. I've got this going through a Helix. So there's an amp modeler on there, but basically what you're hearing is an amp. You're hearing overdrive as a basic overdrive on there, a dotted eighth delay, a digital delay, and then some reverb on there. It does have an EQ and a compressor, but those are, if you know what those are, they don't really change the sound too much or add too much in there. Mostly transparent, but anyways, so that's kind of what you're hearing through the Helix. So anyway, so I'm gonna go with the key of C so you can kind of get for some reasons, but so here is that that triad. Here's the 1-3-5 major triad. That's a C on 8th position, so first finger on 8th fret. And remember, with the 1-3-5 triad, we have the thumb on the same fret as our first finger is the 1 on the 1-3-5 triad. So we have this one, we have A minor, G, F. We could also do, oops, sorry, D minor. I can't really hit E minor with my thumb too much, but I can hit it with my middle finger. You've also got the 3-5-1 with its third, so that'd be here. I can't really do that one there, but I can do it here. So this is a 3-5-1 C with its third E. So normally that would be where the first finger is and thumb, but the nut's doing it. You also have G major over its third, 1-3-5. Thumb in the first position is the bass line, the third. So that'd be a C, 3-5-1 G over its third B. You have the same thing, F over A. So you can work all those as you do these triads, and they kind of sound full. So if you don't want to do like a B diminished to get the bass line to go down, you can do a G over B. I did that in these other videos. You could go, anyways, a lot of different things. But I'm just going to give you that sound. And yeah, so first I'll start with just letting them ring. So yeah, so that's how the triads sound. They actually sound pretty good. So when will I apply this on the electric guitar? Well, for worship, we often only have one electric guitarist at a time because we don't have a lot of them. So the electric guitar is, when I'm playing it anyway, I can only speak for myself, I think in kind of like 3 stages. I mean, there's your pedal, which can also give you overdrive, more overdrive, no overdrive, all those different settings. But if I've got like a regular overdrive, kind of a mild one, like just with the case of the key of C, which I was just doing, your biggest sound, I don't really like the sound of a power chord. Like I could do a power chord here. To me, that's just not, I don't like that. If there's more than one electric guitar going on and one guy's doing, you know, some lead guitar stuff, you know, then this behind it might not be bad. But for us by ourselves, I kind of think of it as open chords. So that's like if I'm going to go with a big open sound. Most of the time. right? If I'm gonna go with a big sound, that's kind of where I'm trying to go for. Anyways, if I'm gonna do a lead line, often I've got a bigger amount of overdrive and delay and reverb going on so that I can, you know, cover things, you know. What is that lead line? Oh, right. You know. What are some other ones, you know, that we were doing Look to the Lamb last there's all kinds of stuff, or like, you know, your solo-y type, you know, that kind of lead line type of work. Or if I'm going to jump to a different key, I guess I could stay in C. That kind of rhythm stuff. There's that kind of thing where it's kind of up on top 3 strings and whatever. But if I'm kind of wanting some rhythm and some sounds that are not quite as big as that, I might go with my triads there. So for the key of C, I've got that 5-1-3 here. I've got the 1-3-5 here with its root. I've got this one up here, the 3-5-1. It's also the same down here. But yeah, those are the roots, you know, and so that actually kind of anchors me. I'm going to come back to that point. But those are my spots. You know, I've got these other triads to work around with. I can travel my 1-3-5s and my, you know, going between the majors and minors. Or I can try to stick to a position. What else we got? But for me, it's like those triads are sort of an in-between sound for kind of a nice big ringing tone, but in between that and like a lead line. So yeah, I think I already did the, you know, try for it, but you know, that sounds a little bit less big than, you know, so I might have these ones with a big overdrive and these ones with a smaller one. So that's just kind of how I think about it. And when I'm working around things too, like for the electric guitar, I've said that these triads sort of anchor you, you know. So if I'm going, I've got my 3 major, the 1 chord, the C major. I've got the 5-1-3, 1-3-5, and the 3-1-3-5-1. But in each one of those places, like I did the video before, you've got your scales. So there's a 1, you know. Got your, you know, got your 5 chord or 4 chord, and you've got this scales that you're working with. There's the 5 chord. Yeah, so you've got all of those things. That scale that's right there. You know, here that 2-4-1-2-4-1-3-4, 1-2-4, 1-2-4. All that's right there at your fingertips. You know, down here at the 1-3-5 or the 3-5-1 position. You know, you've got that scale that's right there too, that starts with the index finger at 5th position, the same position as your 5-1-3. So you got that 1-3-4, 1-3-4, 1-3 back position, 1-2-4 forward position, 1-2-4, 1-3-4. So all those are right there. I don't typically go back out of position for that 7th, but you got all those notes. Just kind of whatever. But those are all available to you right there, and you got all your triads there too. You got your minor, you got your 4 chord, 2 minor, you have your 5 chord, you could go back, or you could do a little power chord version of it. Your 3 minor chord is right there. there. So, you know, it just allows me to kind of play around a little bit. And anytime you find a lead line, they're always in one of those positions. You know, like a lot of your lead lines will be on that 3-1 or 5-1-3 position. And they're going to take it up here to the top strings like Edge used to do for you too. You know? So, but all those scales are right there. Your triads are right there. It kind of gives me, when I think about the electric guitar, I'm thinking big open sound with your big open chords. And then you've got your lead line sort of stuff that, you know, as your 3 strings at a top 2 strings, you know, you're playing a single note line or a couple notes at a time. And then I've got that kind of in-between space where the triads sort of live for me, which are, you know, I can move them all around the neck. And again, if I just know the key that we're in and I can find those main 5-1-3, 1-3-5, and 3-1-5 or 3-5-1 chords for the one chord, like if I'm in the key of C, if I find those everywhere, I know where those scales are, and then those are 3 scales and 3 positions to play all my triads in, and I can either stay there or I can move my triads around if I want to. But if I stay there, I've got the chord or the scales that go along with it. So that just gives me a lot of colors to paint with, you might say, even if I'm sort of a basic player. It opens up the neck for me. So with a little bit of overdrive, delay, and reverb, you've got a pretty big sound with those triads. So hopefully that made some sense and the demonstration was worth your while.